Hi, so I'm just going to talk a little bit about Siegfried Sassoon's poem, The Kiss. Siegfried Sassoon was a World War I poet like Wilfred Owen and won the Military Cross for bringing back a wounded soldier. He was decorated, but he was eventually a very anti-war poet. And you can see in this poem called The Kiss, his use of irony and metaphor and personification specifically. He wrote this poem in response to training he had received for using a bayonet. And a bayonet is a long rifle that has a longer sword at the end of it. This would be used for fighting in close proximity, and it had begun being used in the 1600s and went all the way up to World War I. Eventually, using the bayonet became kind of incompatible with fighting in World War I, which used on the Western Front a lot of trench warfare and had this space in between the two enemy camps called no man's land, which was filled with barbed wire. And the idea that one would rush out with a bayonet and attack the opposing side became kind of unworkable in World War I. And they had to use trenches to protect them from all the artillery and cannon fire that was coming across. So this technology was sort of going out of favor, the bayonet, and it really stopped being used after World War I. But he wrote this poem called The Kiss specifically in response to the idea of using the bayonet. He uses a metaphor of calling the bullet the brother, and the knife at the end of the bayonet, the other possible way of killing a human being, he refers to as the sister. So he says, "To these I turn, in these I trust, brother lead and sister steel." That would be the bullet and then the sword at the end of the bayonet. "To his blind power I make appeal. I guard her beauty clean from rust." So I guess the idea of blind power there is that the bullet, once it leaves the gun or the rifle, the soldier can't always know exactly if it lands where he means it to, whereas he has to keep the steel in good condition and file down to use it. He goes on to talk in the second stanza about the bullet. "He spins and burns and loves the air and splits a skull to win my praise." So here you have the bullet personified and actually seeking the praise of the soldier. "But up the nobly marching days, she glitters naked, cold, and fair." And there's an image that you have to imagine of the soldier carrying the bayonet with the sort of long, thin piece of the sword coming out at the end of it. "Sweet sister, grant your soldier this, that in good fury he may feel the body where he sets his heel quail from your downward darting kiss." And so there you have the image of the killing with the bayonet part with the sword as a kind of darting downward into the body, that the body would quail, kind of fall apart or be hurt by that. And that in some way that is a kind of kiss. Now, Sassoon disavowed this poem. He was worried that people wouldn't understand the irony and the satire of the poem, that it wasn't strong enough, and it was kind of written in an initial response. So, seeing the kiss as the killing when the knife goes into the body, people may not have understood that he was trying to show a dissonance there, a kind of irony. It's anything but a kiss. It's a kind of a murder. Okay, so that's what I want to say about The Kiss. I hope you enjoyed the poem.